of inside of the mind of a genius? Like, how do you do all this? Can you answer that question? It's not an easy question. Yeah.
I mean, my mind is a storm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a storm.
Okay, so I honestly should probably make the guy who asked the question my garbage person. Like, don't just sit there fun. What's it like in the mind of a genius? And then you see that coked out, methed out guy. He's on every drug simultaneously. Twitchy, weird little guy who feels like just because the world's most pathetic people are applauding you, that makes you actually cool. And that's not how it works. I don't care if you're wearing a black hat or a black t-shirt or whatever. You're not nearly as cool as you think you are. And for someone to go into that, believing that he's a genius, that's unacceptable. For someone to watch that clip and think that he's either a genius or cool or admirable or anything, also terrible. So Elon Musk is that rare garbage person that makes other people around him garbage if they don't identify what he is. But in case that's not enough to sell you on the idea that he's a garbage person, I'm gonna throw out one extra thing. And it has to do with his family. We keep hearing he's an amazing dad from him, actually, from his sock puppet accounts on Twitter. We hear that he's a great dad. But anyway, his former partner Grimes is now having to publicly tweet at him to take his kids' medical crises seriously. So these tweets have since been deleted, but she had implored Musk to, quote, please respond about our child's medical crisis. I am sorry to do this publicly, but it is no longer acceptable to ignore this situation. This requires immediate attention. If you don't want to talk to me, can you please designate or hire someone who can do so that we can move forward on solving this? This is urgent, Elon. I'm not giving any details, but he won't respond to texts, calls, or emails and has skipped every meeting, and our child will suffer lifelong impairment if he doesn't respond ASAP. So I need him to effing respond, and if I have to apply public pressure, then I guess that's where we're at. In a separate reply, she responded to a fan and said that she'd been shadow banned, meaning that her posts have been restricted and less visible to others. Now, I know that's a thing that conservatives used to throw around baselessly, but she actually showed before and after screenshots showing where her tweets were visible and then when they had no longer become visible. And so obviously Twitter didn't like this. They didn't, again, so this is just more censorship from Twitter. And so we don't know what the actual medical issue is with the kid. We have no idea, but apparently she's been reaching out to him and he's not responding. And you know why? Because he wanted to go to CPAC and put on like a chain and like talk about how his mind is a storm and how he's so cool as his kid is apparently on the verge of some sort of lifelong medical crisis or whatever. Well, I guess that's not the kid that he uses as a prop in public performances or whatever. So I guess that one doesn't count for much anyway. But so all of this is terrible. He's gross, he's doing tons of damage. Insert whatever reason you want, but Daria, what do you make of him?
This is supposed to be the party of family values. I don't remember how many kids he has now, but to hear that he's not only has this many kids, but now he's not responding to the mother of his child about said children for a perceived medical emergency. This doesn't sound like the Christian values that they champion. Abandoning your family, not answering the mother of your child, not caring about that child's well-being, also doesn't seem like the makings of a genius, at least any rational genius. So yeah, I agree with your garbage person of the week. Elon might be the garbage person for the next 4 years. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see him appearing as a garbage person regularly.
Yeah, I just look, I don't love him being in the news constantly. I don't love him being on TV constantly, but I think the one silver lining of that is it becomes increasingly difficult for sane, rational, well-adjusted people to deny that he's a dummy. He's an idiot. He's not a genius. He's not even bright. He had a bunch of money and he bought some companies where actually intelligent, talented people designed some products, made them. They did the coding, they did the engineering, they built the rockets and the cars, and he branded it. And he was great at generating some hype, often by lying to the potential customers about when things would be available, how much they would cost, what their capabilities would be. And people weirdly don't seem to care that those promises never came true. But that's it. He's a hype man. He's Donald Trump effectively. He's not a genius. He's not Tony Stark. Let's wake up America. He's not even a good dad. And that to me is the most important thing based on the experience that I've had with my daughter over the last year. So I don't know, spend less time trying to look cool and trying to get applause and just attend to your kids. You keep having them, you seem to want them. Why don't you actually spend some time with them? Anyway, with that said, we're gonna move on in just a sec to another story. But first, ill-advised member for 43 months on YouTube says, I'm working Sunday through Thursday now, so I get to watch live on Friday, Heart, TDR, and the other TYT shows. Thank you so much, it's very nice of you. Okay, with that said, we'd had a request to cover this story. So, that's a good point. Thank you, Mike. I see you, thank you. We're gonna do our community garbage people of the week. 62,000 of you voted. Here's your top 4. Coming in at number 4, 3% of the vote is Tom Homan for choosing AOC as his next target. I wish that percentage was higher. But number 3 is 7% for JD Vance for trying to destroy free speech. Your runner-up has 25% of the vote. That's Elon Musk and his minions for trying to gain access to the IRS system. But far and away, your winner with 65% of the vote is Donald Trump for saying he who saves his country does not violate any law, which we will continue to repeat to justify any crimes that we commit here at TDR. Since we are trying to save our country, we're gonna do the Napoleonic thing. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.